Hello, my name is John Young. I've worked with Tru Vue about 21 years with distribution and retail, so I'm pretty familiar with this industry and our projects, research, and some of these tools that I'm going to talk to you about. So we'll get started here. And what I'm going to describe is a consumer research that we did several years ago, but it's really important information in this. And just kind of as a little bit of a background, when we do these consumer research projects, it's not just TrueView calling out and saying, hey, do you like our products? Typically, we ask a lot of different questions about the industry, what consumers like, that type of thing. But this one is specific to TrueView, and it's an outside company that's commissioned. They, do all the gathering of the information. They do the actual physical research projects with the consumers. So it's really well done, and it's really important information for us. So the first thing I'll talk about is when we started this research, these consumers had something framed within the past 12 months. So these are custom framing consumers. It's not just a random group of people. And we started out by just giving them a written description of our museum glass product. This is what it does. What do you think? Would you like to buy it? Obviously, by details, they said, hey, sounds great. So 54% of them say, yes, I'd be very interested in purchasing that product. Then we added some more details to it. We added visuals so they could actually see the product. They still get the written description, but now they can see the product as well. And because we know price is sometimes an issue, we added in pricing scenarios in there. So we said, okay, here's the product. Here's what it looks like. Here's what it does. Would you be interested in purchasing? And we get between 41 and 58%, depending on the price points, whether it would be willing to purchase this museum glass. So this is the pricing scenario we did. We actually told them, okay, this is based on a 16 by 20, and let's assume, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer, that you've had something framed with conservation clear glass. Now we've shown you this museum glass, we've given you these price points. Would you be willing to purchase museum glass? So at an uptick, meaning the price difference between conservation clear and museum glass of $150, which is outrageously high, we had 41% said, yeah, I would still buy museum glass. At $100, you get 50% said they would do it. And at $75, you get 58% said they would do it. The average pricing is probably more like $40 to $50 difference on a 16 by 20. So this pricing is pretty high, and you still get 58% of the people that are willing to buy it. Now, we also stumbled upon a major problem. Okay, here's the consumer saying, yeah, I want to buy it. But why are some shops still only selling, 4%, 5%, or less of museum glass? The main reason, the number one reason we found out was that the consumers were not shown museum glass. Whether it's because the framers are afraid of the expense, or they don't really know how to handle museum glass, or whatever it may be, they weren't showing it. So out of 100 people, only 3.5% were shown museum glass. Kind of tough to buy something you're not shown. So we got that big disconnect there. You get 58% of people willing to buy the product, would like to buy the product at a very, kind of a outrageously high price point even, but only 3.5% were shown the product. So we created some tools to help them get through this process. This is a POP, a point of purchase display that you're probably fairly familiar with. It does a great job. It sits on the counter. It shows you museum glass. It shows you the vibrancy, the lack of reflection on there. It's you have people come in and poke at that thing on a regular basis because it does a really good job. So we also created a kind of way to help the framer talk through it. Think of it as a 1, 2, 3 proposition. 1, you show them the display. 2, you tell them a couple of benefits. Hey, isn't that great? It offers 99% UV protection, and it's got the highest clarity in there. The least amount of light reflection, great clarity, whatever your catchphrases are, just throw in a couple things because, of course, they're going to choose that by looks. Then you let them choose. Now, this is probably the most difficult step. Let the consumer determine the value. I've heard so many framers get to this point. The consumer sold on museum glass, and then the framer will say, "Yeah, but it's more expensive." Don't panic on that. Let the consumer choose. Again, remember, 58% of the time they're going to take museum glass. So just show them and tell them and let them choose. Now, this process works so well. We also created a point of purchase display for Optium museum acrylic. It shows, as you'll see in the visual here, it's actually got an actual feather in there, and the regular side, it kind of sticks to the acrylic, where on Optium side it doesn't. So in that tell them phrase, or stage, excuse me, that's one of the things you probably want to point out. Because again, we're going to 1, 2, 3. We're showing them. In the second phase, we're telling them, say, hey, isn't that beautiful? It's got 99% UV protection. And then throw in a couple other things. Oh, it's a really popular choice because of that amazing clarity. It's got really low light reflection. Also, it's static resistant and abrasion resistant. So it's got some really nice attributes to it. And then again, let them choose. This is the part where you have to be quiet and just let the consumer kind of mull it over and decide that this is what they want on their art piece. It's worth it. They came in on purpose to have something framed. They want to keep it for an extended period of time, so let them choose. And that's it. These are really nice. And by the way, these tools are all free. The sales pitch is 1, 2, 3. Easy to remember. You can come back and look at this at any time. And you can order these displays through our Framers Helpline or online at no charge, and we'll ship them out to you to help you make that sale to your consumer. Thank you so much for your business, and best of luck to you in selling. Take care.